All right, welcome to Movie Night and Game Day. This is episode 5. I'm Kyle, and I'm the creator of the Movie Spreadsheet. Make sure to check out the channel for lots of fun movie content.
All right, I'm Eric. I'm Kyle's co-host. Every week we get together for Movie Night and Game Day, where we talk about two movies that we've assigned to each other. We try to guess each other's review score, and we're really passionate about sports. So after we have a little movie fun, we then dive into Game Day, where we talk about some topics that are really passionate to us.
Every week we do something fun, and this week it's Where Am I Movie Edition. So I'll show Eric 10 images that are from the movie Cineverse, if that's even a word, and Eric's going to see if he can figure out the location of those images and the movie. And we're going to see if you, the audience member, can defeat Eric in this game.
Oh, so I'm playing the audience this week. All right. I'm totally going to lose to everyone. And I think Cineverse, that's a word. Please remember to like, subscribe, rate, review, and comment. We want you to be a part of Movie Night and Game Day, just like you're hanging out with us. So, Kyle, before we get into the movies, what's new with you?
Well, I've got a confession that I have to get off my chest, and it's, as a person who loves movies, I have to say I have grown to hate going to the movie theater. Now, I'm not one of those people that wants movie theaters to fail. Like I have historically loved going. I just think there's two simple things that can be adjusted to make the movie going experience better. And the first thing I want to talk about is publishing the start time of the freaking movie, not the time they roll the credits, not the time Nicole Kidman comes on and tells her little story like, when I was a little girl, no, like the time the movie is going to start. And here's my analogy, and this is a perfect analogy because this is game day and movie night. I said them in reverse order, whatever. I love going to Major League Baseball games early. Like, I'm the guy that gets there as soon as the gates open. I want to watch the teams take BP. I want to watch them field ground balls. I want to see all that stuff. And I know what time the game is going to start. The first pitch is going to be. How is it any different than a movie theater? It should be the exact same. Publish the time the movie starts, and if you want to show up early and see previews, you can. All right, number 2. We need more early morning showings of movies. By 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, right? Like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, the day is starting to get a little long in the tooth. And when you leave the movie theater after that half an hour previews, right? It's now 1:30, 2. Give me that 8 a.m. showing. I know this is crazy. I would go see a 7 a.m. showing of a movie. I want to get up early. I want to go to a movie. Why not? Eric, any comments on those things?
Number one, I would be there with you for the 7 a.m. showing, and I would still eat popcorn. That sounds like a delicious breakfast. But also, I believe in Connecticut, they either just enacted a law or it's being enacted soon where movie theaters are required to publish the start time of the show. So your wish may be coming, or maybe you need to move, but I definitely would be in for a 7 a.m. movie. I think that sounds fantastic.
Well, the other thing about it too that doesn't make any sense is like we do stuff as a family with kids that open early. So I'm always like, what time does we go to a specific bouncy castle place or a trampoline place because it opens an hour earlier than everything else? Why are there not more kids movies showing at an early time? And why are horror movies reserved to those later times in the night? And why aren't there kids movies? Why are there kids movies at night? It doesn't make any sense to me. And then my last little tiny thing is I think we need better candy selection at the movie theater. It needs to be like a corner store feel for the candy selection, because the candy selection at movie theaters, AMC in particular, is just not it. So get that off my chest. Eric, what's going on with you? What's something new for you?
Yeah, so what's new for me is the number 30. So, first of all, I know what you're thinking. That's how old I am. No, it's not how old I am. I'm actually just 23. 30 is not half the amount of time that I spend on the elliptical at the gym. Well, actually it is, but that's not what I'm talking about.
That's crazy.
30 isn't the degrees Celsius that the gym that I go to happens to be right now. Well, actually it is, but that's not what I'm referring to. just quick little conversion to Fahrenheit. It's 90 degrees in the gym. And when I walked outside after working out, we live in New Orleans, it felt so cool. That just gives you an idea as to what a sweat box it is. But what I'm talking about, little bit of personal achievement, and I'm very excited about this. I've been hyper focused on what I eat, and as I've been talking about going to the gym, how often I am going and working out. And over the past 3 months, I am down 30 pounds, and I am on my way to a weight where another 30 to go. Kyle, you're going to buy me something. I don't know if you want to talk about that right now, but I just wanted to throw out that accomplishment. And for anyone else who's going through something like this, the results are around the corner, and I hope you find the right motivation to do it. So that's what I wanted to talk about. Kyle, anything else we need to mention before we get to this week's movies?
Well, I think we got to mention like what I'm gonna buy you. It's for your belated birthday gift. I said I'm a big fan for some reason. I love sports gear, and I asked you. You're a cyclist. I asked you if you had one of those awesome like shirts, and you said no, that you don't. And I was like, okay, I got to hook Eric up with one of these shirts. And you said once you hit your goal weight, then the cycling shirt is on me, and I still hold true to that. And yeah. Good motivation for people to go to the gym, makes you feel better and look better.
I appreciate that, but yeah, if I put on one of those cycling shirts right now, it would be like, when you have a graham cracker and another graham cracker and you have the s'more and you push it out and all the white stuff like comes over the edge. That's what it would look like right now. So pretty soon, no more double chin, but it's coming.
There we go. All right, so I think there was an obvious issue from the last video that needs to be addressed, but I'm gonna let you handle that one since we got blocked for a second.
Yeah, so in last week's episode, it was the blurry box. Also, thank you for not pointing out that like all of the corrections have been mistakes that I have made. However, what I had been doing in the background on this screen right here is showing movies that either we were talking about or related to something that we were talking about. And it's in the background, it's blurry, but I was playing It, the newer version of It from, I think it was 2017 or 2018, and Warner Brothers got really mad. So Kyle had to edit the entire episode twice, and that won't happen again. I like to take pictures as one of my hobbies, so these are all my pictures. They're all mine. I have the copyright. No more threats from YouTube, so sorry about that, Kyle. All right, are you ready for movie night?
Let's do it.
All right, let's kick it off. The first movie that we're going to talk about is a new one that hit theaters, and Kyle had to go to the movies and sit through a lot of previews, and that led to his What's Up this week. We went to see The Long Walk. And just a little bit about The Long Walk. 50 boys were chosen from a lottery that they entered to join A Long Walk. And it happens to be a contest where there will be one winner from those 50 boys, and they're going to receive a giant sum of money, and they will be granted a single wish. The rules are really simple. You have to walk faster than 3 miles an hour and stay on the road, and don't attack the guards. If you slow down below 3 miles an hour, you get a warning. After 3 warnings, you get your ticket. And we soon learn what the ticket is. It's death. It feels very much like The Hunger Games. I think it was directed by the same person who directed The Hunger Games. That's pretty much all there is to it. Kyle, did I miss anything?
I'm just gonna add. So I'm gonna add like a few things. Like one, I know you mentioned it was Stephen King, greatest American novelist? ? He wrote it in 1979 as a college student, and this is actually his first novel that he wrote, but not the first novel that was published. So I think gives it a little bit of context maybe for the story. But all right, Eric, what do you like about this one?
Well, before I get into what I like, Kyle, I do have a question. So. Okay. Did you know that it was going to be as simple as The Hunger Games, or were you expecting some like additional crazy creatures to come out along The Long Walk?
I was sitting in my seat and I was like, are they just going to walk for the entire hour and 40 minutes? So I was definitely expecting other things besides them walking.
Yeah, so during the previews for the movie, they showed like the black crow that was stuck in the fence, and I think they showed like a dead sheep on the road. So I thought there was like an insinuation that there was going to be some supernatural stuff. That didn't occur. That doesn't necessarily mean that it made the movie bad, but it was like something I was expecting that didn't happen. But let me get into what I liked about the movie. So I thought the acting was fantastic. The guy that played Pete, David Johnson, I believe is his name, he really captured my heart. Like I just fell in love with that character, and I enjoyed watching the movie the entire time that he was in it. I thought this was interesting. Ray, who was kind of the star of the movie, was played by Cooper Hoffman, who is Philip Seymour Hoffman's son. And apparently, not to go too much into what happens in the story, but he channeled a lot of what he experienced in real life from losing his dad into this role. Um, I had no idea the major was Mark Hamill. Not that he had like a huge acting part, but I thought that was pretty cool. Um, a few other things that I really liked: the simplicity. It's just like walk until you win or until you can't walk anymore. Um, I thought it was such an interesting thing to see play out where people knew that if they stopped walking, that was the end. And I don't mean just like the end of the road, like that was it. And it's such an interesting struggle because you experience things like that in life, not really like where death is the other option, but it's like how much can you push yourself until you finally give up? And not to bring it back to being on the elliptical, but like 5 minutes in, I'm like, oh my God, I have 55 minutes to go. And I'm thinking, when can I give up? I always make it through. But I just thought about like, how far can we push ourselves while watching the movie? Um, there was also, they explored the struggle of knowing when to let go. You know, anytime that a contestant started to go down, everyone tried to help that contestant, but there were some who were just not savable. And knowing that you just have to let go, and that is the ultimate option, or not the ultimate option, that's just like ultimately what's going to happen, and you're going to hurt yourself more by helping them. It reminded me a lot, not to be like a total downer here, but it reminded me a lot of when we had to put our corgi down, because at some point it's like there's no more that you can do for him. So I just thought there were so many like um, similarities to real life. And the last thing that I'll mention, they talked a lot about the meaning of a moment. You know, can something that is lasting like 24 hours where you're competing with other people, where the outcome is either win or die, like, does that count as a moment? Can that be a friendship? And I thought that whole discussion and talking it through and like how it played out throughout the movie was all really, really interesting. It's one of the few movies I've seen recently where it sits with me for like 2 or 3 days afterwards. I've been thinking about it nonstop. Not just that part, just like the entire movie. So I liked a lot about this movie. Kyle, what are your thoughts? What did you like?
You referenced your corgi. I'm at a similar spot with like our family cat right now, who's pretty old, and like I'm trying to make the decision like when is the right time? Is it the right time? Yeah, I mean that's a good reference for sure. I like that the director Francis Lawrence, and he did do the Hunger Games. I like that he kept it pretty short. I mean, Stephen King, like these stories, I think are really good when they're kept at that kind of shorter length. Like they get into it pretty quickly. Um, and because it's Stephen King, you know, you're kind of on your toes the entire time. You're like, look, it's not going to be as simple as this. Something is going to happen, and it, you know, because of that name, it holds your attention. I thought the first death was just so graphic, and I thought it was really well executed, like no pun intended. But the deaths after that aren't, but they don't really need to be, because they show you how brutal that first one is, and then the other ones don't need to have that like close in, zoomed up graphic like getting shot in the face, because that's already been shown. And like I really enjoyed that. So, Eric, what didn't you like about this movie?
So there were a couple things that stood out to me that didn't work. The the ending, and I'm not saying like who won, who lost. It wasn't really that, but it was the moment immediately after the wish was granted and then that deed took place. It seemed as though everyone who was standing around and witnessing the end of the long walk was all of a sudden gone. It really had me confused. I think it could have ended a few frames earlier, or at least the rest of the people didn't have to disappear. Maybe I just completely missed something. Um Another thing that bothered me was the walking choices. They wore jeans and boots. I feel like if I'm going on a 400 plus mile walk, I'm going to be wearing sneakers and something a little more comfortable, but it was austere times. And I think about people in the military, if they're out, they're in boots and pretty rugged clothing. So I could be way off base there, but that bothered me for a lot of it. Um, the last thing that I'll mention, this is the worst. I debate even bringing it up, but like the shit was real graphic, and it wasn't just once. We had like I'll call it hotcakes to reference Parks and Rec. We had hotcakes on camera. We had a solid one on camera that got pinched off. We had a lot of discussion about it. Someone was told to walk away because they needed to de-smell. Like, look, I understand you have 10 seconds to get that done, or else, you're getting your ticket, and it's something that's real. I think it could have been discussed a little less and shown not at all. So those are the things that I didn't like. Kyle?
Okay, well, first of all, I mean, I think it was really slow to start. Like this was one of the slower Stephen King stories to really get into it. And then, like I mentioned earlier, this movie is about walking, and it's really heavily dialogue driven, and it is a lot of walking. But I really had a huge issue with just the walk itself. Like, can I have some context about the walk, like the format, the structure? They don't ever stop. There's no stopping. For some reason, I thought they were going to stop at a certain point and continue the next day. How long is a typical walk? How long is a typical winter? I just wanted more context and background behind it. And we got that a little bit when the guy was like, this hill usually eliminates half the people. And it's like, I just didn't know enough about the structure of it to really feel like I understood what was going on. It became extremely formulaic pretty early. It was like, okay, we have the two main characters, and then we're gonna introduce somebody else real quick, and they're gonna give it a little backstory, and then we're gonna go back to the two main characters, and then oh no, look what happened. The new person they just introduced, something's going wrong with them. It might be a feces issue, it might be whatever, and now that person is gonna be shot and is gonna be out of the of the walk. And honestly, like for me, I really don't care enough about these characters to care what happens to them. And it just really felt like a Hunger Games movie. Like, surprise, surprise, same director. But like the color of it was like very Walking Dead ish. So it was like Hunger Games kind of meets Walking Dead. And it was just like really difficult for me to watch in terms of cinematography. Like it was just the entire time they're walking and their heads are bobbing for the entire duration of the movie. It would be like watching a movie that takes place on a boat, and the entire time they're going up and down. Nobody would make that decision to shoot that movie that way. It was difficult on my eyes, as weird as that may sound. And then really after the first 30 minutes, I would bet you if I said, okay, go randomly pull audience members, give me 4 names of the people that you think are going to be in the final 5. Pretty obvious who are going to be at least 4 of the final 5 people. And I think it's really obvious who's going to be essentially the last 2. And then that leaves us essentially with the ending, which was like, what was that? Like you said, where did all the people go? Like it just ends. And so it was the ending that actually made me Google the order. I was like, where did this book take place in the publishing of Stephen King? And the fact that it was first in not publishing the writing of it, The fact that it was first was like, because the ending, I think, is really the hardest thing to accomplish as a writer, having written nothing. But in terms of like tying stuff together, that's really difficult. And this one kind of felt like it was incomplete. And then my final thing that I really just couldn't get on board with is I don't think that it was really like what we saw was actually human nature. I don't think people would actually act this way. It was kind of like reverse Lord of the Flies, if you will. So that was everything that I didn't like. Eric, do you want to comment on anything there?
Tell me more about that last comment. How do you think people would really behave? You mean like how when a soldier was going down, people were willing to help, and you don't think that would actually happen?
I think if we were, it's like if we were soldiers and we were fighting together, but in war, like more than one person could survive. But in this, you only knew that one person was going to survive. So helping out anybody else meant that like you're potentially putting your own life at stake. And I guess maybe that's more of like an insight into my own mentality is like I would help nobody, right? And that means that you can't be helped by anybody. But I feel like the majority of people would ultimately help nobody and look out for themselves. And I think it would have made more sense if this movie had more than one winner, and then you would really see that pack mentality. But other than that, no, I really didn't feel like it was human nature, at least not for me.
Interesting. All right. Well, then, would you ever sign up for the long walk?
No, never. Why? I mean, I'd win it. No doubt about it. I would win that thing. But like, it just didn't. No. And like the whole, like the thing you talked about with the pooping, you're not taking an Imodium or something. You're not just backing that stuff up. You're not wearing like the most comfortable sneakers. One guy had an extra pair of sneakers. And I was like, wait, if you don't have time to poop, how do you have time to change your shoes? And so it's just like, what's the strategy here? That's why I need more context about the walk.
So I did look up a couple differences between the book and the movie. So in the movie, you have to walk at 3 miles an hour. The book was 4, and 3 miles an hour is a pretty good clip if you ever go out walking and you have to maintain that for a long time. I mean, it's not like you're losing your breath, but you're walking. But in the book, your first warning was after 30 seconds, whereas in the movie it was 10 seconds. So I also thought that was kind of interesting. But I also think this is interesting, and I'm really glad that I didn't have to guess your score for this one, because I could see you absolutely loving this and like having it in your top 10. But I could also see where it's more likely going to fall for you based on your comments a little bit lower. So, are you ready for my score?
I'm ready.
All right. So I really liked the movie. I thought it was fantastic. I gave it a score of 8.325. And to give you a little context for that, that sits right alongside scores of similar scores for movies like Inception in my list, I Am Legend, and Saltburn. It actually would have scored higher, but because of all of the, penalty, we'll just leave it at that.
I like it.
I took a half a point off for that because it was just way too much for me. But I really, really enjoyed the movie. It was, psychological. I thought it was touching. It was like graphic minus the poop. It was still really graphic. Brought in so many different moral dilemmas for me. And I just feel like the actor for Pete, who is David Johnson, is going to have a bunch more roles coming his way. So that was my score. I'd love to hear what your guess was.
Okay.
And I want to hear your score too.
Okay. So this was one of those movies where, we've had a lot of movies that were really similar in terms of, I thought our rankings were pretty similar, but I thought originally I was like, okay, I'm going to put you at like a 5 here, right? Then I was like, no, I think he's going to be more in the higher end. So I bumped you up. So I said that you would be a 6.5 as my prediction. But then I went to trusty AI Overlord and I asked it what it predicted that you would be for this movie. And it predicted you would be at an 8.475. So that is 2 weeks in a row that AI has nailed your prediction based on it. And I'm not sure if you've ever done this. but it like breaks down why, and it's like because of these movies on it, it's gonna connect with these movies, and that's why we think the score is gonna be this. Do you have an idea for where you? Yeah.
I would love to know if it pulled out the same movies that I just mentioned, or any one of them: Inception, I Am Legend, and Saltburn. I just think that's I also don't know how I feel about the fact that AI knows me that well. That's crazy.
Here's what I'll do is I'll go back when I edit this, and I'll put up on the screen what AI reference in terms of the key data points leading it to predict you as an 8.475.
I would love to hear that. But so Kyle, just to let you know, you were really close. You were only off by 1.8 and change. So I also feel really confident in my guess for you in the next movie, but
Okay.
I still have to be really close. So
Okay.
good guess.
All right, so this one for me, I rated this one as a 3.85 and number 301 on the spreadsheet. Yeah, I really didn't care for it. I didn't like the cinematography. I mean, it really felt so much like a Hunger Games, and I just want, I don't know, I want it to be a little bit, I don't know if darker is the right word. It just didn't work for me.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Well, agree to disagree, but that's cool.
All right, audience out there, let us know what you think worked about this one, what you think didn't work about this one, how close were you to guessing our scores, and then let us know in the comments. We want you to be a part of this movie night and game day, so please comment below. And are you ready to talk about Locked?
Oh boy, am I.
All right, here we go. Synopsis for Locked. All right, so I've got a Pete Davidson looking guy who is not Pete Davidson. He's struggling to make ends meet in Portland. Just kidding, it's not Portland, but like it kind of looks like Portland. And he discovers this super fancy Narnia looking car in the middle of a parking lot. Decides he's going to break into the car, which is just conveniently wide open. And honestly, some of the nicest seats I've ever seen. That car looks amazing. He goes inside and he gets locked in the car. Oh no. Will he ever get out to see his daughter again? We'll never know. Or we will know because it's revealed in the movie. All right, and one more time, this is not Pete Davidson. It's Bill Skarsgård, I believe, from Creepy Clown. It. Eric, did I miss anything?
You missed nothing.
Okay.
So
not
Kyle,
a lot to miss.
yeah, no, there's not much more to this movie. So Kyle, was there anything about this movie that you liked?
Okay, I'm gonna approach this one from a little bit different of an angle. I'm not sure if you've seen the Phillies clip with the Karen snatching the ball from the guy. It's been all over the news, but there's a guy on YouTube who's like, I'm gonna approach this from a different angle. So how can I justify the action? So how can I justify liking this? Well, early on, he gets a burrito, and that burrito looks fantastic. It actually made me go to the kitchen and make a burrito. The seats in the car, top notch, big fans of those. And I also like when movies open by showing you how tough times are. And this movie did just that. Like, you really get a feel of how difficult it was to make ends meet there. You see the homelessness, you see like the population just, or the city just vandalized. I love when it shows that. Night Always Comes also does that. And I think it does it to a really high level here. At the end, there's this awesome slow motion scene in which like the bullets ricocheting off of walls as if kinetic energy doesn't exist. But like, I thought the slow motion effect there was pretty cool. And then also, it's an hour and 27 minutes, and it's streaming on Hulu, so I didn't have to leave to watch this one. Eric, what did you like about this movie?
So you remember last week when we watched Drop, and you said that you really liked watching the single mom the entire time?
Yes.
You could give me Bill Skarsgård just on camera the entire time, taking clothes off, which he did sometimes. I'm in. That's about all I liked about the movie. Kyle, what didn't you like about the movie?
I mean, he just threw the burrito on the ground. He didn't even finish it. It looks so, he just threw it on the ground. It's like, what is going on? Super wasteful.
I'm going to get you a burrito from Felipe's.
It looked
to make
really,
up for that.
That burrito looked really good. It also bothered me that, he's so thirsty. He's in the fancy car and he's like carefully squeezing the bottle, trying to get this bottle out, right? The last drops of water out. And then when he's given a bottle of water, he's like dumping it all over his face and it's spilling. It's like, what are you doing? If water is that valuable, why are you pouring it on your face? Why are you not conserving it? Also, it's never a good sign when one of my notes, I have my phone open, not goofing around on it, but I have my phone open when I'm watching. And one of my notes is, okay, 40 minutes in, like, where are we going? Do I even care? Also, you know what drove me absolutely insane was the remote driving of the vehicle. How is this possible? Nothing about this shows that it's supposed to be in the future. We know Teslas can't run people down. So is this, we have
Yes,
Anthony
they
Hopkins.
can.
They can like run. They can like run people over. Like they can.
No,
yeah,
no,
right.
no, I'm teasing.
So like we know. And honestly, I have a review on the movie spreadsheet for Eeny Meeny in which somebody tries to run somebody over with a Tesla, and guess what? Like it's like nope, can't do it, and it stops, and it's a little bit of humor. But is Anthony Hopkins like remote controlling this, like with a PS5 controller? Like how like do you understand how hard it is to drive that well with a video game controller? I play a lot of video games. Impossible. And also, why can't we just make it a Land Rover Defender? Like, that's what it is. We all know it's what it is. Why has it got to be some weird car? I'm just totally underwhelmed. Like, why make a movie like this? Eric, what didn't you like about this?
So I mentioned Bill Skarsgård. I disliked pretty much everything else about this movie. Just a couple things to highlight. Like, I love Anthony Hopkins. I don't get why he did this movie. He, first of all, when he was on the phone communicating with Pete Davidson, he sounded like this bumbling idiot, from jolly old England who was a doctor, but he just sounded goofy and bumbling and whatever. Then he gets into the car and turns into the Hannibal Lecter psychopath that you would expect. And so I didn't understand why there was such a dichotomy. He could be, crazy, insane person both times or bumbling idiot both times. But I found that like switch really weird. It kind of felt like he took a paycheck and was like, oh, all I have to do is go to a sound studio and just record my voice for a while and I'll take my check and go away. But then they were like, can you show up for like a day of acting so we can do like the final scene? He was like, okay, I'll do that. I just didn't get anything about what Anthony Hopkins did. And I was really mad that his character was named William because he didn't do any justice to the name William, which is the name of my corgi who you might hear walking around in the background. When the perp, I don't even remember his name. This is how bad the movie was. When Bill Skarsgård first got into the car, there was someone else who pulled up next to or near the car, parked, and then walked over. She did like her makeup in the car. He is banging on the glass trying to get her attention. I don't believe that it was so well soundproofed that she didn't hear or notice a thing. Like, so many things about the movie were just ridiculously unrealistic, but that one just blew my mind. It's still glass. It could be really thick glass, but you're gonna hear something. At least I think you would. I don't know. The whole socioeconomic commentary between Bill Skarsgård and Anthony Hopkins just felt so out of place in like such a weird way to like take this movie down that road. I didn't understand why we even needed to do that. And then like you were upset about the cinematography in the last movie. The camera angles, where it's like zoomed in and then zoomed out and it's moving left and right and all around. Like it didn't work for me. I didn't get anything about this movie. So I tried to limit my comments on what I didn't like, and I'll stop there. So Kyle, I would love to hear if you have anything else to say, but otherwise I would love to hear your score.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned like the banging on the glass with the girl. I mean, she's right there. She's right next to it. It's not like she's far away. But also, banging on the glass is going to shake the car. Like the car is going to move back and forth. And she'd be like, why is this moving back and forth? Made no sense. Yeah, Made no sense. But and again, like nothing says that this takes place in the future. So it's not like there's some advanced technology occurring. Nothing about it says that. So I don't know. But at least it was on Hulu. All right. Overall score for me. Here we go. 2.9, and making this movie number 339 on the spreadsheet. So for me, these type of movies, I just find myself like asking why this isn't really that innovative, and it's not really taking like that much of a risk. Eric, what did you have for my score, and what did you think? What was your score?
All right, hold on. Wait a minute. You gave it a 2.9.
2.9.
You have a whole number in front of the decimal. A 2.9.
2.9.
You thought this movie was better than Megan?
Yes. Yeah, I did.
Oh,
that burrito.
whoa.
The burrito is so good looking. Like, give me that burrito. No, and you know why too? Like the ending was okay. I thought like how it kind of all came to the end where they had that slow motion scene. I really liked, and there was some entertainment early on. And achievement of goal was. I mean, everything was like really low, but it's just 2.9. This is terrible.
Okay, so in my mind, I did not think in any way, shape, or form you would score this higher than the movie Megan.
Okay.
So I had you coming in at a 0.825 because you have Megan at a 0.9. I can't believe this movie got 2 whole more points than Megan on your movie spreadsheet. So I don't even have to do the math. I lost. I'm really mad about that. That's okay. I'm going to win it back when we get to Where Am I movie edition.
That's right.
To answer your question, my score was a 2.25. I mean, like, it was stupid. It was on Hulu. I didn't think it was going to be great. The only thing that I was really looking forward to is if Anthony Hopkins is going to be in a movie, you're kind of like, oh, this might be worthwhile watching. It dropped on Hulu, so why not watch it? Oof. It was bad. I can't think of anyone who would really enjoy it. But a 2.25 is about as low as you can get. I think it ranked just above Independence Day, the sequel,
Resurgence.
the one that was 20 or 25. Yeah, Resurgence. Yeah. That movie was awful, but that's not what this is about. So congratulations, you won. You get to pick first when we get to picking movies for next week later on in the episode. For all of you who are joining us on Movie Night and Game Day, we would love to know your thoughts on Locked. I'd really love to know if you really liked it. Please comment about that. But otherwise, comment. Let us know what your score was. Let us know how close you were to guessing my score or Kyle's score. And please tell Kyle in the comments that this movie is not better than Megan. All right. So let's keep it going with movie night, though. Kyle picked the fun that we're going to have this week, and it's called Where Am I Movie Edition. So, Kyle, how does this work?
Okay. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you, Eric, and the audience out there. I'm going to show you 10 images from movies. And so what you're going to try to do is you're going to try to figure out where am I? So what movie does this take place in? And for an additional point, can you identify the name of the place in the movie? And I'm gonna open with a practice one up there so everybody can figure out how it works. And then we'll go through. It's going to be out of 20 points, which is a great number for grading. So we have 10 images. So remember, 1 point for identifying the movie, 1 point for identifying the location in the movie. Eric, are you familiar with French New Wave cinema?
I don't think so.
Okay, this might be challenging. All right, just a reminder, I'm going to ask you to not give your answer right away. That way the audience has a chance to come up with their own answer. So I'll cue you for your answer. Are you ready to play Where Am I Movie Edition?
I was ready until you said that French New Wave cinema, because you said this was going to be real easy. So we'll see how this goes.
All right, so here we go. Eric, you are okay to go ahead and open up your first image, which is going to look something like, and I'm going to put it up here on the screen as well. So my face is probably going to get blocked out. So you should see your first image up there. This is the practice question. So you're trying to identify the movie and a location in that movie. All right, Eric. This is one of the movies I think you said was in your top 10 draft of the New York Times Top 100. What is that movie and what is that location?
Okay, so I am pretty sure that is Black Panther. I'm pretty sure it was the first Black Panther, and I can't remember what the subtitle was, but I'm saying it was the first Black Panther movie, and that is Wakanda.
That is correct. So that's a point for the movie, and that's also a point for the location in the movie. So I think everybody understands how this is going. Eric, great job. Are you ready for the first real one? That one obviously counts. And I'm going to be like one of those crazy math teachers that gives you like a really easy question for practice, and they send you home with that homework that you're like, what is this? No, I'm not going to do that. All right, let's go.
If the rest of them are like this, I feel a lot better.
Here we go. So this is going to be the first, your first one right here coming up. Go ahead and click on it. Where am I?
All right. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling pretty confident.
I put this one there for you. I was like, I know you're a big fan of this movie. All right, Eric, where am I?
All right. I don't know if it's 1, 2, or 3, but I'm pretty sure it's in the top 3 of my spreadsheet. The movie is The Martian. We are on Mars.
Easy peasy.
Please don't ask me to wait, am I right?
You're right?
Okay, good. I was going to say, please don't ask me like the plantation or whatever the specific area on Mars, but
I would not do that.
Did I get 2 points?
2 points for you. So we'll keep it going. Can you beat Eric? All right, next one. Where am I? We had a classic American movie here from the early 90s. All right, Eric, where am I?
I am not confident on this one, but I have a guess.
You want to give me the movie?
So, is the movie Field of Dreams?
Field of Dreams, ding, point number 3. And where are they?
Okay. Where the Field of Dreams happens to be. Is it somewhere in Nebraska? Is it Omaha?
I'm just looking for the state.
So it's not Nebraska. Is it Ohio? Wherever I wait, I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to let you down on this one.
They're in Iowa. So Field of Dreams is in Iowa. So nice job. 3 points. Look, the way that I would word this to students is like, look, I would make this one probably out of like 15 points. And then the second part allows you to get those bonuses. So we'll say 15's 100. North of that is just spectacular. So let's go ahead and go to the next one. Where?
By the way, I like that you're already scaling the quiz. I really appreciate that. Okay, we're ready for number 3.
Where am I? Take a look at it.
Okay, all right. I think I know the franchise. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get the movie or the planet.
Yeah, let me tell you. I don't need to know the specific movie. I just need to know the franchise. That's easy grading for a point.
Okay.
And then the location.
Okay, so are we ready? I want to make sure the audience has.
I think we're ready. Go ahead.
We're ready. This is the Star Wars franchise.
Star Wars. That's point number 4 for Eric. Where am I?
Okay. I would have guessed. I am not good with this. I am not good with the planets. Is it Tatooine?
It is Tatooine. Pick up that other point.
Is it really?
5 points.
Yes.
5 points.
Yes.
That was.
Oh, William's really excited for me. He just jumped up to say hi.
5 points. Doing great. All right. How are we feeling so far? 3 in. I feel like it's been pretty fair, right?
I feel great. Cool. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and go to the next one.
Okay.
I will say I think this is the hardest one up there. You really got to look at it closely.
I feel actually pretty confident in this one.
I'm so excited.
what I'm seeing is drawing me to a specific movie and what is happening in that movie. I also know where we are.
Oh my
But
days.
if I'm being drawn to the wrong movie, I'm going to completely mess this up. So, you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm gonna give you the vibe. I'm getting spaceship vibes.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay. I'm thinking it's Independence Day and the ship is coming into the horizon. Is that right?
I would can you look a little bit closer at that image? I would zoom in like a little bit closer to that image,
Okay.
try to get as close as
So
possible.
the answer is no. That is not right. uh. Oh. Okay. Thank you. Okay. We are. The movies. You ready?
I mean, let me just to say, if I were operating a classroom right now as a teacher, if somebody gave me an answer, I was like, I think it's because they didn't quite see it correctly. This is exactly what I would do. So, Eric, go ahead. We erase it with pencil. That's why you do your answers in pencil. What's your real answer here?
I believe the movie is Interstellar.
It is Interstellar.
And we are on, I don't know the name of the planet, but it's the planet that has insane gravity and enormous waves.
That is correct. Do you know the name of the planet?
Uh
Take a guess.
no.
Impossible choice.
It's
All right.
it's A713. I have no idea.
It's A714. No, I was kidding. It is Miller's Planet is the answer. I think this is the hardest one I put in there. I know you're a space guy, a space fan.
Is Miller the astronaut that was sent to that planet?
I don't know. I just know it's Miller's Planet.
Okay.
According to
All right. All right. Well,
lore.
I'll take you can give me 1 point. That's okay.
I think we're up at 7 now, if I'm not mistaken. Or are we at 8?
I don't
being
know. I
terrible.
haven't
I'm
been
being
keeping
terrible.
score.
Not keeping score anymore. There's going to be a little pointer below, and we'll figure it out as we go. So let's go ahead and go to the next one.
All right. All right. Here, I'm actually just gonna bring the presentation up close.
Do it.
All right.
Now, I'm going to figure out how many points you have.
Okay, go for it. This one, I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to get this one even a little bit. I have a guess. I don't know why I want to say this is the guess, but I have a guess as to the movie, but I can't remember where this movie took place. No, I think my guess for the movie is wrong. I'm either gonna need a hint or I'm just gonna blow this in this number 5.
All right, so
I'll tell you what my guess is.
Yeah, let me hear yes.
Are you okay? I'm 6 points. Okay, I don't know why I want to say it's oh geez, the movie is escaping me. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night with Jim Carrey. The Truman Show.
It is the Truman Show.
Oh,
That
well, how
is
about
correct.
that?
That is correct.
So it's the town that they live in the Truman Show.
Correct.
Which I don't know the answer to.
All right, so the name of the town is Sea Haven, but that is a good point pickup there. So nice job. That brings you to your 7th point through 5 movies, and let's go ahead and go to that next movie now.
All right.
This one you definitely
This is number 6.
Yes, this one you want to zoom in on. You want to try to see what's going on for the audience out there. I'll try to make this full screen so you can see what's going on. 7 points
All
through
right.
6.
So I see. Can I talk about what I see?
Yes, this makes for good
All right.
watching.
All right, here we go. So I see law enforcement on a bridge coming out and looking for people in a car, or yeah, they're probably looking for someone who is trying to escape the city. I'm trying to figure out what bridge it is, but maybe that's not helpful at all. Um, I don't know why I want to say Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but I don't think that's right.
I would look
I'm
at
gonna need a hint.
Yeah, I would look at it as being a different type of, like, not a bridge, like it's something else. Where would you come to like a standstill?
Well, an interstate. Uh, ooh. I don't. Well, it's obviously some sort of major highway because there are 6 lanes of traffic. I don't know. I'm gonna need another hint.
I would think. I would think internationally here.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that doesn't help.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Um, I'm gonna give you an actress in this movie.
Okay.
Emily Blunt is in this movie,
Mm,
and so is
yeah.
Benicio del Toro, I believe.
Yeah. I don't think I saw this one, so I'm gonna give up.
Okay.
The audience can tell me how badly I missed this one, and they can take the point. I'm doing better than I thought I was gonna do.
Look,
So
you have 7 points through 6, so you are doing a great job here. All right, this is Sicario, and this is the scene at the U.S. Mexico border, which is probably one of the best scenes in the movie, if not the best scene in that movie. Have you seen Sicario?
okay, I have not.
Oh, okay. This is definitely one that you should check out. It's intense. So okay, so can't fault you there. You haven't seen it. Let's go to the next one. Still sitting on 7 points through 6. Let's go to 7. Ooh,
All right.
where am I?
All right, we're in a downtown neighborhood. Let's see. It's the 4th of July. I'm getting kind of New England vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have a. It says the 50th annual regatta. So there's a movie that's calling to me. I don't know if it's right, but there's a movie that's calling to me. Should I throw it out there?
I think if it's calling to you, yeah, throw it out there.
I feel like it's Jaws.
It is Jaws. Point number 8.
And oh, I don't know if I know the town, but I'm pretty sure it's on Martha's Vineyard.
That's where it takes place. But there is a
Martha's
town
Vineyard,
there.
right?
That's where it was filmed, right? It's like Martha's Vineyard, but there's a town. I'm gonna say the name of this town is not so much known for being for Jaws. It's more known for being like synonymous with like a horror movie. At least the start of this.
Oh, I don't know. I was gonna say Hyannis, but I think that's actually a town. I don't know. I can't remember.
Okay, so we pick up 1 point. I think we had to 8 points now. 7 points. I'm so bad with counting. I'll count again. It is Amity Island. Amity Island. Yeah. Okay, so good one. Good one to get Jaws there. I was thinking, okay, maybe you pick up Schneider's right there in the middle of the scene, or you pick up the fact that it is the 50th anniversary of Jaws coming out. So that's why I did that one. All right, let's go to the next one.
Yeah, and I apologize to everyone out there. William is really upset about something, so he's ran out of his peanut butter Kong, and if he keeps it up, he might just have to be kicked out of the office for recording.
You got to do what you got to do. All right, here we go.
Yep. All right.
Next one. Come on. This one should be automatic. Number 8. And I'll go back and count the points again.
All right. Number 8. So first of all, you have the "Where am I" right over where it says "Welcome to the city of." So I can't see where we are.
Genius here.
Intentional.
Intentional.
But we are. Okay. So I can see from. Oh. Okay. I just saw all I needed to see. Tell me when you are ready for my guess.
What was it that you saw that was all you needed to see?
Well, the first thing that I saw was someone skateboarding on the back of a Jeep Wrangler. And then I also saw on where it said "Welcome to the city of," it says who the mayor is, which is Goldie Wilson. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
It's Hill Valley, California, and Back to the Future.
That is correct. That moves you to 10 points, which is an awesome tally so far. All right, next one. I mean, you had to get your this is one of your favorite movies. Is this your favorite movie?
It's definitely number one on the spreadsheet, so it's up there.
Okay. Here we go. Number 9. Where Am I? Sitting on 10 points.
So, okay, so we see some rock formations. We see some greenery. Let's see. What else do we see? I think I see a rainbow. The sky is kind of ominous.
You have to really zoom into those rock formations on the right, because those rock formations on the right are kind of your hint.
The rock formations on the right are kind of the hint.
And in the middle, like if you can zoom in and look at them, like there's going to be something unique about those formations.
It also looks like there is a giant staircase in there. Is there? Do I see like an ape or something on top of the rock? There's something on top of the rock. And let's see. There's some other stuff going on towards like the bottom of the rock. You know, this one really has me stumped. I don't think I even have a guess. Like if I needed to lean somewhere, I don't know. We're not on planet Earth.
No, absolutely not. So what movies have like vegetation like this?
Do I get any points for saying where we aren't? Let's see. Thank you for laughing. Let's see. I don't know. I need another hint.
I would think. I mean, this is one of the biggest movies of all time. I think this was the biggest movie of all time at one point in cinema history. Biggest box office ever. I'll have to fact check that.
Well, okay, then it's got to be Avatar.
That is correct. Do you know the name of the planet in Avatar?
No, I don't.
What? All right, this is.
I don't.
This is Pandora. So this is Avatar's home planet, Pandora.
Oh yeah, that's Uh-huh.
So that brings you to 11 points through 9. Moving on to the very last one. Here we go.
All right, here we are, number 10.
Where am I?
Okay, we're not on Earth, or maybe we are on Earth, but just in the future. We're definitely in a sci-fi movie. Whew. All right, I'm trying to think. What else do I see here? I see, so there's water. There are a lot of like really pointy, spiny buildings. Let's see.
I would zoom in right in the middle bottom, and then follow that.
There's like a road or a neural network that heads up to a big, what looks like a golden palace.
I think this one. If you don't get it, you're gonna be like, I should have got this one.
I'm feeling that because I know I've seen this. I'm trying to think if I could. Is this a? Let's walk this through. Is this a Marvel franchise?
It is.
Okay. Is this? Is this? Is this? I have a few guesses. Is this from the Guardians of the Galaxy?
I would ask questions about the road, because it's not labeled as a road. It's labeled as a bridge.
Okay, this is a bridge. Is this Doctor Strange?
It's a specific type of bridge. It's known as the blank bridge. And if maybe the colors of that bridge are going to give it away.
Did I use the word already? Is it like the rainbow bridge?
It's a rainbow bridge.
Is it really? Okay. And that is a big hint because
like a lot of this movie is I think like one of the movies is based off of somebody seeking to trap somebody on planet Earth by not using the Rainbow Bridge or the Bifrost.
All right, so this has got to be from one of the earlier Marvels, I'm guessing. Is this one of the Thors?
It is.
Okay. That's about as good as it's gonna get for me. So which Thor was it?
No, I mean any Thor is fine. It's Thor.
Okay. 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 Well, I think I did better than I was expecting. I was really nervous that I wasn't going to get a single one.
Yes.
So
you get 12. So that's. Do you know the name? Take a shot at it.
What, the city?
Yeah.
No idea.
That's Asgard.
Asgard. Wait, Asgard is on Earth?
That's not on Earth.
Yeah, okay, we're not on Earth. Okay, that makes me feel better.
But they also have, but hold on a second. They also do have like a Asgard on Earth in the later Marvel movies. When they, like in Thor: Love and Thunder, Asgard is on Earth after Ragnarok. Okay, so how do you feel with that?
I feel okay. I feel okay. I feel like after I watch a movie, I'm not sure how much like all of the details continue to sink in and stay unless I watch it like over and over again. So I'm very proud of the fact that I got 12 out of 20. Wait, did you say 12 out of 20?
12 out of 20. But remember,
I got over 50%.
Yes.
And with your curve,
Yes.
12 out of 15. That's like
that's what
that's an 80%.
Yes. So let's see how the audience
I feel
does
pretty good
one.
about that.
Yes, that was a good effort. I like how you talked out some of these too.
There's no question that the audience is going to beat me on this one. Oh, don't you have a prize to talk about?
I do, but not yet. We have to get through everything first. Then we'll talk about the prize. But honestly, I didn't yeah, stay tuned for the prize. I didn't normally I would have like Meg's, check this out and be like, "Hey, like what do you think about this?" And I on purpose didn't do it because I want her to actually watch the video and try to see if she can identify some of these locations. I don't think she will. And I will say I made this multiple times. I had so many of these and I ended up putting so many in there from space. And it was like I had Dune and it was orange, and I had The Martian and it was orange, and I had Star Wars and it was orange. And I was like, I got to stop making orange things in there. So I had to take some stuff out. But I feel like you would have got Arrakis pretty easily.
Hey, dude, I think you picked movies that are definitely guessable, and I think the audience is going to not need any curving to get a really good score. So, nice job.
All right. So that's
and also
yeah.
Nice job. I did pretty well.
You did an awesome job.
I'm proud of myself.
You did an awesome job. And honestly, to get Interstellar based off of that one image is insane. That's my favorite part of Interstellar. So for you to be like, I think it's Interstellar, it was like, yes, holy crap, I cannot believe you got that.
Well, I'm glad you told me to zoom in, because when I was first looking at it, it was pretty small, and it looked like, how in Independence Day when the big ships first enter the atmosphere and they're coming in and like the clouds are going over it and it's just like a big fireball cloud. That's kind of what it looked like to me. So, but yeah, once I zoomed in and I saw the giant wave, I was like, Interstellar, I know where we are.
Nice work. All right, should we move into game day?
All right, Kyle, it's time to close the curtain on movie night. Let's go and find our seats for game day. Kyle and I are each going to talk about a few different topics in the world of sports because we are really passionate about sports. I'm going to kick it off this week. I have a few quick hits, and then I'm going to get into my topic. So, first of all, Kyle, have never been to a college football tailgate. Well, I shouldn't really say it that way. I've never been to an SEC tailgate. And so I was really excited this past weekend because I was able to go to LSU and hang out for a bit during the tailgate. And anytime I've heard about a tailgate, I've just heard how crazy the scene is. And this was just so cool. It was so many different tents everywhere, all sorts of different types of food. People had, Wi-Fi hotspots going. They were watching all of the other games on TVs that they brought out. Everyone was so friendly. It was just a chill, fun, good time. I cannot wait to go back for another tailgate at LSU. Another thing that I wanted to talk about, I am really impressed with the improvement that Spencer Rattler, the Saints quarterback, has shown from week 1 to week 2. Yes, we lost the game against the 49ers, but the 49ers are such a better team than the Arizona Cardinals. So even though the final score, at least for the Saints, was relatively similar week after week, the offense just looked so much better. And I just want to say, look, Spencer Rattler might not be the quarterback of the future, but he might. Who knows? But would you rather be in a situation where you have a quarterback who is improving week to week and looking better week to week? Or do you want to be in a position like the Vikings with J.J. McCarthy or the Falcons with Michael Penix Jr., who have committed to new franchise quarterbacks, and they're really not looking great? I mean, that Sunday night game that I'm not sure when you're watching this, but that was last night for us. That game was just awful. It was so bad. So I'm excited about where the Saints happen to be, and I think we're in a better situation than those two teams. So, Kyle, any thoughts on either of those things before I get into my big topic?
I do have a question for you, because that Sunday night game was pretty undesirable in terms of viewing. And then I asked Megs, and Megs was like, why? It's because of the Emmys. They didn't put the big game on at that time because the NFL might have thought they were going to lose out to the Emmys. So I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I had no desire to watch the Falcons-Vikings at all.
I don't know. The Vikings are all over prime time. The Falcons are all over prime time. I mean, look,
Why?
when you open up a million windows, it's just going to be tough to find games to put in there. But I think there was a lot of optimism about J.J. McCarthy and Michael Penix, even by the networks. And I mean, Megs makes a good point, but I would also say from the NFL's perspective, I don't think they give two shits about the Emmys, and they'll put anything up against that. But, last night was such a slog and such a drag. I know you were watching the Emmys. Be glad. I think it was way more entertaining. All right. Here's the topic that I really wanted to get into. Kyle, what are your thoughts about fan behavior of fans of the visiting team when they come in person at your home stadium?
I mean, I feel like you have to. You're a guest. You need to be on your best behavior. I feel like there's some etiquette that goes with that. And honestly, I will not be an opposing fan in an NFL stadium ever again. I just feel like you can't be taunting people around you. You can't be loud. You can't be obnoxious. I'm not saying you can't enjoy the game and you can't celebrate, but you're not, it's not your home team. What do you think, Eric?
Yeah, I mean, like I think, to make an analogy, maybe this fits, maybe it doesn't, but it's like if you go to someone else's house and they're religious and they say grace, or they're a different religion from you, you're not going to sit there and be like, boo, or no, we can't do that. You are in someone else's house and you behave appropriately. I think the same analogy applies when it comes to pro sports. So, yes, I will completely admit to where this is coming from. I was at the Saints game this weekend against the 49ers. The lower bowl was a sea of red. So there are a lot of people down there who sold their tickets and made a lot of money and gave them all to the 49ers. Look, if you want to come and support your team and wear their colors, I have absolutely no problem with that. I do think, as you said, Kyle, you're kind of asking for trouble. I'd like to think that you're not going to run into it here in New Orleans. I think we're generally nice to people who come and support their team. I would never be caught wearing anything other than an Eagles jersey if I went to the Link to watch a game in Philly. But I think there's a difference between you getting excited when your team is doing well and you cheer on something good that happened for them and acting like it's your home game. The 49ers fans were shouting defense, defense every time that the 49ers were on defense. So they were making noise while we were on offense, which I think is just really rude. It's not your stadium to do that. And they were booing calls that went against them. It sounded awful. It sounded like we were in, I was going to say San Francisco, but didn't they move 35 miles away? It's
Santa Clara. Yeah.
So it just, I don't know. Again, wear your colors, support your team, be cheerful, but be respectful. And remember, you aren't at home. You are a visitor. And I think it behooves you. Ooh, there's an interesting word. I think it's important that you show that respect. And just if I take even a step back further, obviously, all of the 49ers fans were able to get their seats down there because season ticket holders put their seats up for sale. So you can't blame all of this on the visitors. You can blame it on the season ticket holders who buy tickets just to flip them and try to make a buck. I am a huge opponent to that, whether it comes to season tickets or you buying a Taylor Swift ticket just to try to flip it to a real fan who wants to be there. Buy the ticket if you want to go. Sell it if something comes up and you actually absolutely cannot make it. But if you're buying season tickets just because you plan on selling them, I don't think you should be a season ticket holder. I'm not sure how you combat that with the technology that's available today. You certainly can figure out ways to cap the resale value so you can't sell them for more than what you bought them for. I think there are ways that they can figure out how many times you, as the ticket holder, made your way to the stadium. And if you went like to 80 or 90% of games, maybe you get a discount towards the following season, or you get some sort of recognition for that to try to encourage you. It's just, I think if you are the season ticket holder, you should be doing it because you want to go. Otherwise, let other fans who want to go to that home team have the chance to own those tickets. And if you do get lucky enough to procure a ticket as a visiting fan, act like it. So those are my thoughts. What do you think about that, Kyle?
Yeah, no, I agree with it. And Beck, what you said, you wouldn't wear anything besides a Eagles jersey to Lincoln Field. I honestly don't think that's something to be proud of as a fan base. Like it should be something that you want your environment to be hostile. You want your environment to be difficult to play in, but you don't want your environment to be hostile towards fans. That's just crossing a line that I think is just completely unacceptable and speaks a lot to where some of like these fans' heads are. For the life of me, I still don't understand why the NFL doesn't have like away fan sections. Like in the Premier League or in soccer all over the place, they have a certain section that is reserved for visiting fans. And honestly, it's not like the top left corner nosebleeds. It's like a slice of the field ranging all the way down to field level in some locations. And then that area is protected by police officers to make sure nobody gets hurt. Same thing for college football. I watched the Georgia Tech Clemson game end, and you can see all Georgia Tech fans wearing white, and there's the Clemson orange sliver in the corner standing in the bleachers as Georgia Tech defeats them. Like, I think we're at a point now in the NFL where we might need something like that, especially when we see all these instances of fan violence occurring. And why is that occurring? Probably because people are coming into stadiums and acting like not good guests, right? And that's going to lead to some tension. Like we saw the woman in, or where was she? She was punched in the face by a Rams fan, and we have the Ravens fan getting beers dumped on him at the Bills game. Well, that's just beyond. It's unacceptable to me.
And especially from a Rams fan, like, what? You got a team 4 years ago. Like, come on, you're gonna punch someone out over that? But in all seriousness, the NFL stadiums do have home sides and visitor sides. There's no reason, and I think that's a great idea. There's no reason that you can't section off, as you said, from the nosebleeds down to the front row of the lower bowl. Why there can't be, that's the section. We sell those tickets to the opposing team, and everywhere else is for the home fans. I'd love to see something like that implemented. Rarely ever, though, do I feel that the NFL implements things that are smart and fan friendly, but that's a topic for another day. Kyle, any closing thoughts, or do you want to move on to your
Yeah,
topics?
let's talk about my topic because actually it's going to be a topic for today because we're going to talk about the NFL and I think what is ultimately for me a diminishing viewing experience based on a bunch of different factors. One of those just being the general length of game time and the stoppages that are occurring. Like I usually wake up, my typical routine on the weekend is I usually wake up and I watch that Saturday morning Premier League soccer game. I start it. It starts at 6 a.m. I watch for 45 minutes. It's halftime for 15 minutes. I watch for 45 minutes. The game's over. That's it. And I've watched 90 minutes of soccer in an hour and 45 minutes with that 15-minute intermission. And it's wonderful. And for the NFL, it's all over the place. I feel like the games range upwards of 3.5, 3 hours, 45 minutes for only 18 minutes of gameplay. It's getting a little bit difficult to watch. And then you throw in the penalties on top of it, which completely disjoint the game. Eric, any similar experience watching NFL, having issues with getting through games because of the spacing and the timing of these commercials?
So, I love waking up and having sports on at 6 a.m. I do love that about watching soccer from, from Europe. I also love when the NFL plays in Europe because that kicks off at 9 and you have NFL all day. I have a different take though on how the games feel. I really like the pacing of an NFL game. I actually really like the TV timeouts and the commercial breaks, especially when watching from home because I feel like I can just like take a breather. Especially if I'm watching a Saints game and my emotions ratchet up while the game is on and in the commercials I can kind of like relax. Um, I don't know. I I do like soccer. I'm not a passionate fan like you are, but for me, an hour and a half of soccer feels like 18 minutes of gameplay to me. It just because unless they're close to a goal or and a kick is actually happening, to me, you might as well just be showing me replays of when that action was taking place. Um, what does annoy me about the NFL is all of the stoppages specifically for penalties. I would much rather just see them play outside of penalties that are egregious.
Yes.
I don't know how you throw in like the definition of egregious and stick to that, but it's just sometimes like you see a hole and you're like, okay, by definition, but just like let them play, keep on going. Um, you know, I think to this past weekend, this was yesterday compared to where we're recording, it was the Broncos Colts game where the Broncos defenders got leverage and they re kicked at the end. The leverage didn't impact the kick whatsoever. The kick missed. And so it's stuff like that that I wish that's what impacts me as a fan. It's not necessarily the length um, or the stoppage and play outside of the penalties. So those are my thoughts.
You know what's interesting about the NFL right now for me is that when I am watching a game, as soon as the play is over, I immediately look to the bottom of the screen. I'm like, was there a flag? And like, what does that tell you about the state of the game? If I compare this to like a Premier League game or any soccer game really anywhere in the world, if there's a league that has a really dominant good team and there's a team that's really like not great in their league playing against them, the strategy is usually to foul them a bunch, foul the bad team fouling the good team a bunch to break up the play in the game so they can never get their rhythm. And it's awful to watch. It's really bad, but it is a tactic. In the NFL, the entity that is diminishing the quality of the game are NFL officials. They're being employed by the NFL. And the flags slow it down, and you really don't get that good rhythm, and you don't really get a feel for what could be a good game. So I meant to ask you a question too, because I started thinking about this topic of what sports league do you think is doing it well? What league is on top of it, is providing the fans with what they want to see, and is kind of on the forefront of it. certainly not the NFL. What do you think, Eric?
Yeah, no, I mean it's definitely not the NFL. In general, if you're only talking about the big four, I guess I would have a different answer. But if I think about professional sports and those that are in, we'll say the upper echelon, um, I really like. I think is it the ATP? I think that's the Tennis Professionals Association
Okay.
worldwide, or the USTA, which I think is just the U.S. Tennis. Either way, professional tennis. And what I like about professional tennis is they have embraced Hawkeye. I don't want to see like lines people lose their jobs, but at the same time, when you are a fan and when you are a player, all you want is for the game, the match, the competition to be judged impartially, fairly, and consistently. And that's what something that's independent and computerized like Hawkeye does. Hawkeye isn't perfect, it's not exact, but it is as close to perfect and definitely impartial, and it's fast, and everyone agrees that that is the best way to do it. They've implemented that at everywhere in the majors except for the French. They have a couple hiccups to work through at Wimbledon, but they have it at all of the next level, and then even below that, you can even put an app on your phone that will basically be Hawkeye for you if you're playing tennis.
That's awesome.
So, I really like how they've been doing that because that's something that serves the fan and it serves the players. Like a player wants to beat their opponent, but they don't want to beat their opponent through cheating or through bad calls. They want to beat their opponent. And so I would, we're getting close to a place where I think we can see more like computerized reviews throughout all sports. I would love to see that continue to happen. So I would think tennis. Do you have a thought
No,
on
but it's
that?
interesting. It kind of made me think about something else. Why not having replay come from like one centralized location where the decision is made for them? Like, why not have like a group of individuals that act as like a committee that determine the outcome of every single review? Because if they're the ones looking at it, then you essentially have the same judge or judges for every single reviewable play in the NFL. And then at least you have some consistency with that organization versus having these individual people then looking at having to explain what they saw. I think what's cool about the tennis too is how fast it is. It's like boom, immediate check over, gameplay continues, and the momentum, like what's going on in the game, it continues, it stays. Versus the NFL, we have these long, tedious breaks in the process. All that momentum, all the feel for the game is gone. I would kind of say, it pains me to not be able to say Major League Baseball because I think baseball, could do so much more. NBA is always doing some interesting stuff. NHL is really fascinating to me because of the way they've made some changes to the game and try to make it more fan friendly and more expansion team friendly. So I might lean NHL. I would love to say F1 here, but F1's done a terrible job. But that's really all I got for this topic. You got anything else you want to throw in there? Or should we move on to the movie assignment?
I say game over. So time to move on. We'll get back to our seats for game day next week. We've got our movie assignments. So just to recap from earlier when we were guessing each other's final score for the movies, Kyle was much closer to my real score than I was to his real score. So Kyle, you get to choose first. What are we gonna watch?
There was one in the theater I almost assigned, but then, I decided to not have to go to the theater. But I've been wanting to watch Warfare, which is on HBO. I believe it's the same person that did Civil War, the new one, not the Marvel one. But I'm excited. So Warfare on HBO gets a lot of attention and good reviews.
Can I guess what you were going to assign if you said we were going to the theater?
Yeah, I'm sure you know what it is. What do you got?
Was it him?
Yeah, it was for sure.
Yeah. Well, I think you are alone with the kids this weekend, so I won't make you go to the theater. Him was my theater movie,
Okay.
but we won't do that one. There's a movie that's been on Netflix. It might have come out in August or September. It's relatively recent. It's called It's What's Inside. I think it's going to be better than Locked, which is a really low bar, but it looks like it's fun, stupid, like horror, psychological thriller. I think there are a bunch of kids in a cabin and there's some box, and when you open it up, all hell breaks loose. So that's what we'll be watching. So our two movies for next week: Warfare on HBO Max. It's What's Inside on Netflix. Kyle, before we go, any closing thoughts or comments?
I mean, I love having two streaming movies to watch. That makes it so easy for us. But all right, as a challenge and as a reward to the viewer and the subscriber out there, if you are a subscriber and you comment below the name of the player on the back of this jersey right here, you get it correct. It's a real player. It's not some made up name. I will Venmo you $5. Remember, you got to be a subscriber and you have to comment the name on the back of this jersey. I'll give you a look at the jersey so you know maybe what you're looking for here. Only one name per comment, but you can guess as many times as you want in multiple comments. All right, Eric, any closing thoughts here?
All right, so if multiple people get it, are you gonna pick one from a hat or something like that?
First person. First person with the correct answer. Boom.
Okay. All right, cool. So that's real monies. So good luck. Make sure you subscribe first, and then you comment the name, so that way you can win. All right. The only comment that I have is good luck to both of us next week. Saints are going to Seattle. Kyle, we're going to be friends before. We're going to be friends after, and I'll even do you one better. There's no way the Saints are winning that one, and I think I'm okay with that. We'll see how I feel really next week, but what were you going to say?
Let me jump in on this one because I have to tell you, I've been to the last two Seahawks Saints games, and both times the Saints emerged victorious. So I traveled to Seattle a while back to watch them play, and we ended up losing. And Megs went, and Megs was a great fan. She was like kind of cheering like quietly, like "Go Saints!" And we were all raging around her as Seahawk fans. And then I saw him a few years ago in the Dome, and the Seahawks took another loss. So the Seahawks excel at losing to not particularly great starting quarterbacks. So maybe I think you have more of a chance than you guys think here.
Maybe, but I'm gonna set myself up for disappointment. So remember, next week we got two movies to watch. It is Warfare on HBO Max, and it's What's Inside on Netflix. Please be sure to watch along with us, comment, and see if you can guess what scores we're going to give those two movies when we get back together.
All right, as always, please subscribe to the channel and remember to like, rate, and review and comment below. You can also find more movie content on the movie spreadsheet where I give you that score and rating up front. Eric, take us home.
All right, Kyle. Yeah, everyone out there, we really appreciate you watching or listening, and we can't wait for you to join us next week again right here on Movie Night and Game Day.